Well, hi everyone. I decided to do a little commentary on debating a leftist because for over a year now we've been doing this podcast on YouTube in Finnish, and it's called Monoculture FM. And in that we discuss news and all sorts of current topics. And one request we keep getting from the audience is that we should find a leftist who we could debate on, say, multiculturalism. And I've actually been trying so hard, but I just can't find a leftist who would debate us. And it's interesting because it's always these anti-racists who keep saying that we need dialogue, that there's a need for dialogue in our society, that we need to discuss and settle these differences because there's this huge gap and divide in our society. And when you actually try to have some dialogue with them, they won't do it. So, for example, I've asked a man called Saku Timonen. You foreigners won't know who he is, but in Finland, he has a blog in a magazine called Image. And he's a very well-known anti-racist. And I've tried to reach him via Facebook, via the comments on his blog, every which way. But he never replies to me. And he has actually blocked me from the comment section of his blog because I corrected some lies he spread in one of his blogs. And then there's this woman called Suvi Auvinen who claims to be an anarchist, but actually she's more of an anarchist. Like she tries to be an anarchist, but she's so like conforming and conformist that there's no way that she would have any credibility. And she also has a blog in this magazine called Image, and that should say a lot about how credible she is as an anarchist. She's like the faux opposition that newspapers like to make stories about people like her because they are safe opposition. These far left anarchists, they may destroy store windows or something like that, but they don't really threaten the system because they are for the system. They support all the same things: our government, our church, the EU elite, the media, what everybody supports. They are multiculturalists, they want open borders, they want all the same things that the EU elite, big corporation, and everyone wants. So they are a good phony opposition to portray on newspapers. And I tried to ask her on Twitter whether she would like to join us in Monoculture FM. And she just blocked me. And I think I'll put the screen sharing on so I can show you what's going on here. So I know that her handle in Twitter is Suvi Auvi, I think. Let's see. Yeah, you are blocked. Okay. And this is an anarchist. Like, you would think that she had any guts, but no. Then I started a discussion with a woman called Susani Mahadura, and she's in this radio show on the public news network. And the radio show is such that there used to be a couple of black guys running that radio show. Then they left and they had to find something new. So they got two brown women. And so she got the job with her skin color and by being different and being diverse. And still she is claiming to be completely Finnish. And of course you cannot be both completely Finnish and different and ethnic and diverse and all these things, because you can't be those things at the same time. And that's what I hate about these people, that they can't pick a side. They are Finnish when it suits them, like when they find some sort of an advantage from it. But the moment their ethnicity or being different gives them some advantage, they immediately declare that they are not Finnish, that they are diverse, that they have this some sort of Lebanese heritage or something, and they make use of it. So this is the reason why I don't think this woman is Finnish. She doesn't choose to be Finnish. It's not about her ethnicity. I think she's mostly Finnish, even though her name is like that. But if she doesn't choose the Finnish identity, she's not Finnish. Like, for example, Younes, he's not ethnically completely Finnish. He's half Moroccan, but he chooses to be Finnish. He has a completely Finnish identity. He doesn't try to use the racism card. He doesn't try to use his ethnicity for his advantage. He's just Finnish, and that's that. He doesn't try to be two things at the same time. And this woman, this Susani Mahadura, she started discussing with me and saying how important dialogue is. And then I asked her, okay, would you like to come on our podcast? We could have a debate about the issue of whether multiculturalism is wealth, because that's how the saying goes over here. I know in English it's often said that diversity is our strength, but in Finnish it's said that multiculturalism is wealth. And she simply stopped replying to me. I haven't heard from her since. At least she didn't block me. Like, that's one point for her. And from these bloggers and anarchists and others, radio hosts, we could move on to a feminist. And a feminist, Saara Huttunen. I tried to give her some completely normal feedback. Like, she was complaining about men passing out roses on Women's Day. Like, there were some men who bought roses and they handed them out for women who passed them by. And that's a nice thing to do. But this bitch, she started saying that if you pass out these roses, it's very likely that you will misgender someone and ruin their day. So she's a bitch. She was just bitter and trying to ruin Women's Day for everyone. It's highly unlikely that you would misgender somebody and that you would ruin someone's day by passing out a rose for them or handing them a rose. But these people, they just have to find trouble in any place. Like, they have to ruin everything that other people find remotely fun. And this is me when I'm in incognito mode. And of course, if I would try that handle Saara Huttunen over here when I'm logged into my own account, this happens. You are blocked from following Saara Huttunen. Okay. So that's how the dialogue with feminists goes. So we have handled now bloggers, radio hosts, anarchists, and feminists. And all these people claim they want dialogue, but none of them actually want it. Like, none of them actually take the chance if you offer them the possibility to have some dialogue with people who really disagree with them. And this is the account of that anarchist Suvi Auvinen I mentioned earlier. And this is when I'm in incognito mode. And today I had my latest experience of this. And that is a young student, I think he's 25 years old, called Sami Leon Eerola. And he's not actually known really for anything. He's not a blogger or radio host or anything like that. But I know that he's a very active guy in the anti-racist group called Rasmus. And I had seen his posts over there. And by his posts, I thought he seemed a bit smarter than most of the people there. Like, he seems like he has read a lot and that he thinks about things a lot. And even though his conclusions are completely wrong, and even though he's very idealistic and has a very romanticized worldview, I thought he would make a good guest, because at least we couldn't be blamed about going for the low-hanging fruit, like choosing the dumbest, craziest multiculturalists there are. So I tweeted at him and I asked him, okay, how would you like to come on our podcast? And I sent him a link to the previous episodes of Monoculture FM if he wants to get to know that show, if he hasn't heard of our show before. And here are my tweets about it. And I asked, would you like to be a guest in Monoculture podcast? We are trying to find a person with an opposite view who would have a dialogue with us. And then I said, if this concept is not familiar to you, here are the previous episodes of which we have from over a year now. And he blocked me. And he didn't just block me on Twitter, but he blocked me also on Facebook. So he had a complete panic reaction. And if I try to see his Facebook over here, yeah, as you can see, blocked. And he didn't just panic and block me every which way. He ran back to his little safe space, their anti-racist group, and he started crying about my request for him to come on our show. And I got the link for that post, but of course, when I'm logged in, I cannot see it because he has blocked me. But if I check that out in incognito mode, I can find it. And here's what he says. Of course, it's flattering that a 25-year-old student is declared the promoter of white genocide, and he gets to be the article image in the newspaper Suomen Uutiset in an article about left-wing radicalism, but you should have at least some limit. I want to have a dialogue with a person who thinks I belong to a worldwide Jewish conspiracy. So, okay, I have, first of all, never claimed that this guy is a promoter of white genocide. I have no idea that he has been on this newspaper, Suomen Uutiset. And I have never said that he is a part of some Jewish conspiracy. We have never even discussed any Jewish conspiracy on Monoculture FM. We discuss news, we discuss immigration, we discuss multiculturalism. This has never been a topic in there. And actually, because we don't talk about these things, a lot of these actual crazies, a lot of these people who believe basically all conspiracy theories there are calling us Zionists because we don't go there and we don't start talking about this. So he just creates this straw man. He claims that I have said that he is a part of some Jewish conspiracy. I have never said anything like that. And the comment section was pretty gold too. And they say that, okay, at what point have Lokka and Week had dialogue with anyone, even with their own allies? And they say that we are just making a lot of noise, but refusing to have real dialogue. Okay, we are trying. We are having dialogue all the time. We are having guests there all the time. You can try and you can come and at least try to have dialogue with us. Like, we are not going to be mean to you. We are not going to make some sort of a trap for you if you come to our show. We are going to be polite and respectful, even though we disagree with you. So why are these people so scared? Like, do they think we are going to shove them in ovens or something like that? I don't understand why they are this hysterical about it. That you just ask, okay, would you like to discuss us? And they go on complete panic mode. Like, what the fuck is this about? Like, why are these people so scared? And this guy, Sami Leon Eerola, says that if someone else wants to have dialogue with her, then send her a tweet. So he's scared. He panicked. He blocked me on every forum. He ran back to this safe space, this echo chamber, and there he started crying about it. Like a grown man. 25-year-old is not old, but he is a grown man. He should have some, how would I say, backbone. That's what he needs. and thicker skin. And they say that those people's dialogue is limited to cheering when an immigrant tries to commit a suicide. I'm glad that I'm not a celebrity like you, Sami. And that's also something we have never done. There was this incident in Helsinki in which an asylum seeker pretended to attempt suicide, like he pretended to be hanging himself. But of course, nobody hangs himself in plain sight of a huge crowd. Of course, he knows he won't get it done, that people will intervene. And there were some nationalist activists there who laughed at the attempt because it was so ridiculous. Like it wasn't credible in any way. So now they are claiming that we are these people that even though we went there in Helsinki, we aren't a part of that Finland First crowd who were laughing at the asylum seeker. Still, they are claiming that we are the same people, basically. And keep in mind that these are the people who always say that you shouldn't generalize, that you shouldn't use stereotypes. But when it comes to nationalists, they always generalize that if one nationalist does something, they always assume that all the rest are exactly the same people, like there are no shades, like there are no differences in nationalists, that everyone who disagrees with them are parts of the same like monolithic block. And this one woman says, I once tried to have a dialogue with those people about the subject of the incomprehensible genocide of Christians. Very quickly, I found out that I am an anti-Semite for daring to be suspicious about their theories. That sort of a logic. And no, she says those people. No, she hasn't had a dialogue with those people. She hasn't had a dialogue with me or anyone else from monoculture, meaning Junes, Tuukka Kuru, and Paavo Tajukangas. She has talked to some nationalists. That doesn't mean that she has talked to us. We aren't like Borg. We don't have some hive mind that if you talk to one nationalist, you have talked to them all. That's not how it works. And then, of course, they turn to ad hominem, like they start calling us names and things like that. That's how it always goes. Like they always call me the chicken of Tuonela or something like that, or bimbo, and they just have nothing real to say. And now one guy has the sense to say, okay, now that you refused, Sami, the nationalist side can say that you won't have a dialogue even though you demand it. And that he says that having a dialogue with us must be infuriating. So he got it, that there is this contradiction, that if you keep saying that, okay, we need to have dialogue, but you immediately run away and panic when you are actually offered a chance to have a dialogue, then you're a hypocrite. You're full of shit. That's how it is. And I don't know, like, where can I find a left-winger who would debate us or even discuss us about anything? Like, why are these people so scared? Like, of course, I understand that it's embarrassing if you have bad arguments and you make a complete fool of yourself on some podcast. But if you know that's going to happen, then there must be something wrong with your viewpoints. There must be something wrong with your ideology. Because if you have a good fact-based ideology, you won't make a fool of yourself. But these people, they are scared because they know they will get like beaten. That they won't have any chance because there are all the statistics, there's all the studies, there's all the practical experience about multiculturalism and immigration and Islam. So they will get their asses kicked and they know it, but still they cling on to this ideology, even though they themselves obviously know that it's wrong. Because if they thought they had good arguments, they wouldn't be afraid of debate. But they know, like they know they will get beaten. So they won't do it. But if there is some sort of a Finnish left-winger who sees this and who actually is willing to have some sort of a discussion with us, let me know. You can contact me or Younes or Tuukka or any one of us on Twitter or on Facebook or in the YouTube comment section of the Monoculture podcasts. So this is what I have to say about this, and thank you for listening, everyone, and bye.